When you let go, you become vibrationally free from resistance. Hey guys, I'm Laura and I make videos that will awaken your awareness. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why you need to let go and trust the universe. Okay, so firstly, you need to understand that there are basically two versions of you. There's the ego and then there's the higher self. Now the ego, I draw a little diagram here so you can kind of understand how there's like two versions of you, right? This is you as the higher self, as the spirit, as the energetic being, which is the universe. And that is your true self right here. You are an energetic being having a human experience. As that energetic being, you've had past lives and you'll have lives after this one. That energetic being decides that it's going to go inside a human body, aka an avatar, and your spirit self chose everything about your body, like everything's agreed upon before you enter this planet, right? Your name, where you're going to live, your parents, even how you're going to die is all planned out. So your spirit self is like, yep, I'm going to go into this human body to have this human experience, but attached to that human body is the ego, which is the mind, which is the false self. Okay, so you got to understand, there's the ego version of you, and there's the higher self version of you, which is your true self, which is this bit here. That's supposed to be like all magical stars and stuff to represent being a light being, energetic being. So your energetic being decides to jump into this human body. I read in a book that apparently the energetic being, the soul version of you, resides in your core. And I thought, well, that makes sense because that's where our gut instincts come from, which is your higher self and intuition. So now that we know we've got two versions of ourselves, trust, because you've got to trust the universe, you've got to let go, because when you're clinging on to control, that's the ego. The ego is the one that's trying to control everything. Everything's got to be a certain way and you're clinging on to control. That's what's creating the resistance. So trust equals letting go of control, which is the ego. The ego is the one that's trying to control. The higher self is the one that knows better than the ego, has a better vision for you than what the ego does, right? So the ego is like in the mind, thinking of past and future, you know, worrying about what's happened in the past that you haven't healed from or let go. You're worrying about the future where you want to become more present and be in the body. That's going to help you to let go. And when you let go, that's where you don't create any resistance and you don't repel. It puts you in a powerful, energetic state, right? So the ego is the one that's trying to control, and what you want to do is you need to learn to trust the universe, which also means to trust yourself, which is the higher version of yourself. So I thought I should do a separate video on how to strengthen your relationship with your higher self. I've done one on intuition you can check out and how to strengthen your intuition, but I thought I should do another one on how to build a relationship with your higher self, because your higher self and your intuition are going to steer you right in life. The ego is going to steer you wrong. If you're listening to the ego, you're basically going to fuck up. Because your ego, so you got to understand, like your ego, when you're clinging on to outcome, like, okay, this has to go a certain way. Like, say, for example, you're dating someone. You've got a date with someone you really like. You're like, in your mind, it's like, okay, so the date has to go a certain way because I've got to impress this person. It has to work out because you're outcome focused, right? And you're clinging on the outcome. And it's like, so you're on the date and you're like, okay, so this has to work out. And you've got this like resistant type energy because you're trying to control, because you're coming from the ego. And because you're trying to control, because you're making it important and it has to work out, that's what creates resistance energetically. That's what's repelling. That's what's going to mess the date up. So you've got to understand, it's the ego that wants to control. You need to trust the universe, as in trust in yourself, because you are the universe in human form. So you've got to learn to trust yourself as in your higher self version, which guides you through your gut instincts and your intuition. Learn to trust that and let go of control, because you've got to understand, it's the ego that's wanting to control. Now the thing is the ego is clinging on to control because it's outcome focused and everything's got to go a certain way. That's like the picture that ego's painting. It has to go a certain way, and if this doesn't happen, you may even have this script prepared in your mind of like what you're going to say on the date, and then how you expect the person to respond. Yet if they don't respond the way you scripted it in your mind, it's going to throw you off your game as well. So there's no point in trying to control it. Now, the higher self, the beauty of the higher self is the ego can only see so far, or it's like it thinks it has to happen such a certain way, whereas the higher self can make it happen in a most amazing way that your ego never thought of. Unknown is where the magic happens. So unknown is when you let go of that control, you trust the universe, you don't know what's going to happen. Unknown is where the magic happens though, right? It's like me with my YouTube channel. Just started up a couple months ago. My ego could be like, I'm trying to control it. I have to have a certain amount of people by this way. I'm trying to control this video to make sure it goes viral. It's very rigid. You know, you're very outcome focused, and the energy is very like repelling and creating this resistance. If I'm really trying to make a video go viral, it won't go viral. If you're not trying to make a video go viral and you're just making a video because it's what you're genuinely interested in and it's like coming from your heart, it's more likely going to go viral. So the ego, I'm going to draw a little diagram. I've used this in a couple of videos, but like let's say this is the mountain. This is your higher self on the top of the mountain. And this is the valley, and the ego's down in the valley. Right? Your ego can only see so far. It doesn't have the bigger picture like the higher self. Your higher self's up on the mountaintop. It has a way bigger picture of everything. Like it can lead you up from up there in a way better direction than the ego down here. So that's why it's like the ego can only see so much. The ego's trying to control. The ego's outcome focused. Your higher self can see a better vision. It might have it will have a better way for how this thing's going to happen in your life in a way that you never imagined it could happen. Unknown is where the magic happens. Trust the higher self. So I'll do a video on the higher self and building your relationship and learning, because your higher self, I've connected to my higher self many times, and it's amazing when you do, and it always brings in like positive clarity, like a positive perspective, wisdom, clarity around situations, and it does shift. For me, it's like it's completely shifted my perspective on something. So you gotta learn to trust that side of you, and understand when you're trying to control and your outcome focus, it's coming from the ego, and you've got to let go. You just got to let go, because the ego's never going to steer you right. The ego's where you're going to create this resistant, rigid type energy where it's like everything has to go a certain way. And again, unknown's where the magic happens. Like if you just trust in the intuition, trust in your higher self, it could happen in a way that's 10 times better than what your ego could imagine. So this is why we've got to just let go, because energetically it puts you in a powerful state when you let go of outcome. Energetically, it makes you more magnetic and your energy is more attractive. And build that relationship with your higher self so you can learn. Because one of the things you need to learn is which voice is talking when it's talking to you, which is what I've been working with and practicing with myself. I know when my ego is talking to me. When I have self-doubt, that's my ego. I know that. So I don't allow the self-doubt to win, because I understand that it's just my ego trying to keep me in my safe little box. That's all the ego wants to do. Keep you in your safe little box. And everything has to go a certain way, and it's just trying to control and blah, blah, blah. And it's not really serving you at all. So we've got to build our relationship with our higher self. I'll do a video on that. The other thing here, change the meaning. So that means that like if you're clinging on to something, say, you know, you were hurt by someone, like someone broke up with you and you've been hurt and you're still clinging on to that. You're still like you haven't let the person go, or you haven't let that hurt go that they caused you. You're clinging on to it. So what you do is you change the meaning. That helps you let go, because nothing in life has meaning other than the meaning you give it. Everything is just neutral. When you understand that, that's where the power is. So that's like saying, I've used this example before, where it's like someone that's living in a place where it rains a lot, the meaning that they give to rain is like a negative meaning, because they're sick of the rain. Yet someone that lives in a hot place that's dry and they hardly get any rain, their meaning towards rain is going to be positive, because when it does rain, they're like, yes, we finally have some rain. You understand? Nothing in life has meaning. It's all neutral. It's just the meaning you give it. To help you let go of something, you just simply change the meaning. So that's like someone's hurt you, they've broken up with you, you've got these certain meanings around it all, you know, and you know, you're like, you might even have a victim mindset. This person shouldn't have done this to me. They shouldn't have treated me like that. Change the meaning. It happened for you, not to you. It's actually serving you. That person, in hindsight's not right for you for this and this reason. And you realise that, like, actually, yeah, for this reason, they're not actually that good for me. Oh, I could actually find someone better. Like, you change the meaning. It helps you let go. I'll give you an example for me. Like, this guy that I was seeing for only a few months, he dumped me because I injured myself. What a winner. But like, when he did dump me, I didn't actually care that we didn't work out, because the meaning is like, well, in hindsight, the guy had 2 autistic children. That's a lot of baggage for someone like me who doesn't have kids to take on. Do I really want to play stepmom to 2 autistic kids? Well, no, not really. I don't really want that in my life. It's too much. Like, they're the sorts of kids that aren't going to grow up and move out of home. They're going to forever need to be looked after. So it's like, you change the meaning. Like, okay, yeah, he broke it off with me, but instead of clinging on to it, like, I really wished it worked out. Maybe if I did this different or did that different, it would have worked. Like, you just let it go. Change the meaning. Oh, well, in hindsight, it wouldn't have worked out in the long run because of the situation with his kids. So simply using that technique helps you to let go of things. Nothing in life has meaning other than the meaning you give it. Change the meaning. That will help you let it go. Let go means you have no resistance. You will not block and repel things. You trust the universe, trust the process. Just have that trust and faith. Trust in yourself, have that trust in the faith, and just understand that unknown is where the magic happens. Stop trying to control it to be a certain way, because it can actually work out a better way than your ego could imagine. I hope you like this video, guys. If you did, give me a thumbs up and write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit the bell notification. Keep your eyes peeled for a video I'm going to do on how to build your relationship with your higher self, how to strengthen that relationship so that you can work with this more. And you kind of need to understand your ego more too. Maybe I'll incorporate it in both videos. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see what I'll think about it later and get my creative buzz on. I'll just see how I do it. But you basically have to learn the difference between the two. There's 2 versions of you. You need to understand that. This version of you is your true self. This version of you is connected to higher powers, and it will guide you the right way. Your ego is attached with your human body, your avatar, and that is what really creates the problems in your life. So when you understand it's your ego, it gives you more control over it. Okay? I hope you like this video, guys. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell notification if you do, and I hope I see you on the next video.